Yo, what's going on, family? I'm GT,
And I'm Jordan.
and we are the Billionaire Book Club, okay? Today, you guys are in for a treat. We are dealing with a really powerful book, a great book, The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. How you feeling today, Jay?
I'm feeling good. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good today, so let's get right into it, huh?
Sure, let's get into it.
So this book is about seven spiritual laws that you may find very effective in your life to apply. And I like these laws because they govern us in some way. You know, if you're dealing with spirituality, no matter whatever form you choose to be in, this can really be helpful with strengthening your relationship with yourself, strengthening your relationship with your higher self, and going from there.
Yeah, to me, this book, I feel like it kind of changed my outlook on so many things. I really feel like this has helped me immensely in just how I approach situations, how I approach people. So if you're going through this self-healing journey, which it seems like a lot of people are right now, this is like a perfect book for you.
Yes, 100%. So let's get into the first law. Okay. The first law is law of pure potentiality or the law of unity. What's your take on that law?
I think pure potentiality was basically being in your stillness. So I guess one form that we can relate it to, if you don't really understand what that would mean, would be like meditation, or maybe taking a walk in the park, just being around nature. Like for me myself, I remember in school, like when I was really sad, I would just like stare at this one tree, and it would literally like bring me energy. Like nature has energy within it, and it's just like kind of just being with yourself and with nature, and actually just taking the time to be still and notice the smaller things around you. So that's kind of how I would take pure potentiality.
When
Being
you Before you read this, did you realize that that's what the tree was doing? Like at the time you were connecting with it, or did you read this and realize like, oh wow, this is what I was doing?
oh yeah, no, I don't know what made me do it one day, but I just was like super sad one day, and I was just walking. You have to walk past the same places all the time when you're on campus, and then I don't know, this tree was just like, I don't want to say calling me, but it was like calling me. And then I don't know, I just felt joy. I felt relaxed. I felt released when I would just stare at it and then I would do that all the time. When I was sad, I would just go to that tree.
It's funny because when I was reading this chapter and it was just talking about how important it is to just quiet the noise around you and just really be with yourself, I was realizing like in the car, I do this thing in the car where sometimes I don't play anything. No, I don't play no music, no podcast, no audiobook, no anything. I'm just me in the car chilling. And I didn't realize until I started riding in the car with people, it was driving people insane. I was People would get in my car and I'm so used to, and this not all the time, but I do have a lot of times where it's quiet. And sometimes people get in the car and I still have it quiet. And they're like, why you ain't playing nothing? Like, what's the mood? Like, what are you doing? But I realized that, from reading this chapter, some people just need something external. They need to hear something. They need to distract themselves. They need to bombard their head with noise. And I didn't even realize I was sitting in stillness or sitting with myself, with my thoughts. And I would have thoughts come along, but I asked you that because I realized that from reading this, I was practicing this without understanding I was practicing this.
Oh, okay, got you. I think the tree example is a little different because I feel like with your example, you're realizing like what you were doing versus the
Mhm.
tree was literally like a release for me. So regardless, I was feeling it in the moment versus you're like, oh, this is why I was doing that.
Right. No, but you know what? It was common. It was common. I was feeling it. I just didn't understand that this was a part, like it was a practice.
Mm.
Like it was a form. Like if I read this book and I read all the things you can do, okay, you can meditate, you can sit in nature, you can be in stillness. I'm like, wow, I already practice stillness. I'm already relieved from it. That's why, like when people was getting into the car, I didn't even realize it would be bothersome for other people because it's just so common to me. It's one of the things where I'm not like hearing anything and it's working for me. It was driving people crazy.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. I don't do that as much anymore. I like my podcast now, but yeah, I definitely used to do that too. Like just ride to work in silence, and it'd be fine for me. It'd be cool.
I don't know,
But I like to talk to myself too. So I be running ideas with myself.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, so that's probably why we like it too, because we're not afraid to be with ourselves. Like a lot of people are afraid to be with themselves.
And that's when you connect the most, you know, when you have that time. Because let's be honest, like I'm in a relationship, I have many different things I'm doing, I'm working, I'm building my businesses. There's not a lot of alone time, you know, when you think about it. And when I say alone time, I mean just you, no music, no TV, no podcast, no nothing, just you. No conversations from the external. I feel like, or at least in my life, I should say, it's not a lot of long time. So when you are practicing these things and you are sitting with yourself, you becoming stronger. You're connecting more. And that's what they talk about in this law, connecting more, like actually listening to that internal voice, getting to that pure consciousness. And that's one of the ways you can get joy too, just being with yourself.
Yeah, that takes time to get joy with yourself, though.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess you can say because maybe at first, like I don't remember, but maybe at first it can be difficult when you completely cut off the noise, and you're so used to it that it's like, dang, like it's weird not listening to music. So maybe it can be a discomfort. I can see what you're saying about that. And even in the book, he suggests like if you can't do it 2 weeks, do it 1 week. Or he always saying if you can't do it this amount of time, just start maybe an hour, maybe 30 minutes, just nothing, and see how you like it from there.
Yeah, I can understand that, but I think with the joy aspect, that's gonna take some time because for me right now, I'm used to being with myself, but do I truly enjoy it? Not all the time. I do. I enjoy it a lot of times, but not all the time. So
when you say you don't enjoy it, are you talking about the stillness part of it, or are you talking about just I want company part of it? Because I feel like that can be two different. That's two different things.
Good question. I don't know.
Well, we'll figure it out, huh? So let's get into chapter 2. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, chapter 2 focuses on the law of giving. I feel like this is a very, very powerful chapter, and it's a chapter to where you realize, you know, it's not always about you in this ego we have where everybody has to just me, focusing on me. Like, what are you giving? What do you provide for other people? And then one of the things I like what they focus it on is that when we think about giving somebody something, it's always material. You know, it's never like, okay, let me just give them a compliment. Like, I like your shoes. You know, if you give somebody a compliment, I like your shoes. Like, oh my God, thank you. Like, you automatically see that you made somebody's day. That may have made their day a little bit better or something to go off of. You never know what people going through, but I like the part where they say it doesn't have to be material all the time.
Yeah. I think it's natural to just naturally think material because we in America have holidays for literally everything. So that's what it's for, to buy stuff from consumers. But yeah, law of giving, this chapter was absolutely huge to me because I think I've said this previous episodes, but I feel like my purpose on this earth is to give, and I truly get so much joy out of giving. I'll say monetary. It depends what it is. I don't always give more to others than myself, but for sure monetary. I'm like known for people who know me, they know like I'll give money for others before I buy something for myself. So I'm huge on that. And then also with you saying it doesn't just have to be monetary. After reading this book, actually, I came up with the saying for myself, how can I give to the best of my ability in this situation? And yeah, so I use that. And then I feel like my biggest examples with that so far have been just listening to people talk. So when someone's talking to me and I'm starting to get annoyed and like I don't really care, then I'll ask myself, how can I give to the best of my ability in the situation? And the answer is to listen. What's it called? Actively listen. So I tell myself, okay, that's how I could give to the best of my ability in the situation is actively listen. So I get rid of all my annoyance thoughts. I just sit there and actually listen, take what they're saying. And you can tell it just lights up people's face to just talk about their life. Like people love talking about their life. They love talking about their kids' accomplishments, their accomplishments. So I'm giving. That's how you can really truly give by just listening to somebody. So there's so many ways to give. And then another huge way for me is giving love. Like I literally, that's another one of my life goals is to just give love to the best of my ability. So yeah, this chapter was huge for me, and it should be huge for you guys because I mean, you may not get as much joy to giving as I get out of it, but as the book states, like when you give, you're bound to receive in multiples. So, I mean, you do want to give with a pure, genuine heart, but you're gonna receive that. You're gonna receive that back in some way, shape, or form in your life.
Yeah, it's funny that you said that when somebody get talking to you, sometimes you kind of be like, oh my God. And that's funny because I do the same thing. Like when people just go on and on, and like you said, it's that consciousness, that inner consciousness that's just like, you know what, just be there, just listen. And this lady the other day, she was talking about, something about God. She was talking about how she had a Christian podcast, and she was just going on and on. And at first it was just like I wasn't actively listening. I was just trying to get back to my desk, get back to what I was working on. And she just kept going. But when I decided to listen to her, it was messages I needed. It was messages that wasn't harmful and could really better, yourself. But the thing about giving, and like you said, when you say you love to do it, your intentions isn't in question. Because there's some people who would, here, take $50. Not that type of giving, okay? You want to be intentional about what you're giving. You want to be very intentional about, I'm giving this to make somebody's day. I'm giving this to make somebody feel better about themselves. I'm giving this because I really want to express love. I really want to show love. It isn't this, oh, I'm just giving just to give, and I'm thinking I'm going to receive something in return. It don't really work like that. And when you intentional about what you give, why you give, and how you give, you're going to get it back. You're going to get it back. And that's the thing. You have to give what you want. And that's where we miss out at. We want people to show us love, but we don't want to give love. Or we want people to be honest with us, yet we lie about everything. Give what you want.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's why I started being extremely honest in my relationships, because I already know if I'm not honest, it's gonna come back to me. Like, I really hope the people who are lying in their relationships, I really hope it's coming back to you, and you just don't know it. Like, I made it a vow to be 100% honest. Anyone who has ever been entangled with me or whatever word you want to call it, they know I'm gonna be 100% honest. If you want to know something and you ask me, I will be 100% honest, and I'm not messing with that law because that will come back.
For sure. Which brings us to the law of karma. Okay,
that was a perfect little transition.
The law of karma, or the cause and effect. For me, what I like about this book, and I feel like what's different, is when we hear certain things, like we have to realize, like we are so conditioned to believe things, and due to those conditionings, we never like really question things. And they talk about this in the book where law of karma, anytime I've heard karma used, it's always, oh, you did something to me, karma gonna get you, or it's always in a sense to where you need to get back, or when I've heard it. So when they just was talking about like karma is, more so about a question of your choices. I like that. Now I can make it about me, because we look at karma externally, like, oh my God, this person did something to me, I hope they get you back, karma gonna get you. But what about it if I'm just dealing with myself and I'm not dealing with nobody hurting me? How do I practice this? How do I practice cause and effect? By being aware of have that awareness around your intentions. Did you what you say about that? I should say.
Well, the way you put it that way is actually extremely interesting. I want to talk about my entanglements again. So okay, so how can I explain this to the best of my, no one I've talked to ever never is on my side with this, but I want to see, y'all can let me know if y'all agree. But okay, so as I stated, I like to give. I feel like I'm a very kind person. It's very hard for me to like be kind of standoffish, straight up mean, etc., etc. So that can get me into situations that my partner doesn't like. For example, being too nice to people, right? But that's funny though, because I feel like from my partner's standpoint, they think I'm doing all these bad things towards them. So I guess how you used to be like, oh, you're gonna get your karma. But for me, my intentions are just I don't want to be mean. I want to be nice. I want to be kind. So it's like I'm putting out this energy of being kind. I understand like it affects you in this way, but it's like my pure intentions isn't to hurt anybody, it's to be kind. So that is actually an interesting perspective, because one perspective, it may look like I'm hurting somebody, and another perspective is like my intentions are just not to hurt the other person. So it's interesting.
I like that though, and I feel like, but that's where I feel like that's where it matters, because if your intentions, and they talking about this, like using your heart, how intuitive the heart is, using your heart and doing things out of pure goodness when you do these, and like you said, the effect may not feel good to them, but if your pure intentions, if your intentions is to make somebody's day or genuinely just be a nice person in somebody's life, I don't feel like no one should fault you from that. I feel like that's more of an insecurity issue. You know, no offense to anybody listening to this who got offended, but you know, it's like inner work, because let's be honest, it's not a lot of just pure, genuine, nice people. At least I don't run across that. I can't even, I don't even like eating out no more, because it seems like people have an attitude. I don't want you making my food when you mad. Like, it's been times where people have made my food in front of my face, and I'm just like, you know what, never mind. I'm walking out the store because I don't want that mad anger energy in my food. Then I eat it. Now I'm wondering why I got an attitude 2 hours later. I'm okay. So
right.
It's very interesting, but I like the fact that it's always this thing where we battle, mind versus heart. Well, your mind is smart, that's the brain. Your heart is, your heart is just love. And in this chapter, he argues against that. Like, no, your heart is very intuitive. Okay, you should be making decisions with your heart, asking yourself, is this the best decision to make before we even get to the effect part? Because a lot of people just, they at the effect part, now it's too late. Before you get to that part, question some of these choices, and which is very powerful for me, because it's like, I don't really, like, I try to be very intentional about the choices that I'm making, right? So when you're going about that, I like to do it holistically. Now I have the comfort to do it. Like my mind, my heart is very strong. And let me give it a little bit more credit than I was taught through these conditions of, oh, well, the heart is not smart because the heart is not the brain, and you're just love, and the heart is, we kind of discredit the heart a little bit.
That's interesting that you say that.
We do.
But yeah, so it would be more intuition though. It's like more intuition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Deep,
but now I actually feel like, so my favorite quote in this law actually kind of discredits my last story though. So my favorite quote in this law in the book says that out of all infinite possibilities, there's only one possibility that makes every party happy, and that is the only correct answer. So that actually kind of discredits my last story. So technically, we should be finding the choice that makes all parties happy.
Well, you know what? It's crazy. I don't, to be honest, I don't really remember that exact quote, but I feel like, we can try our best to do that, but it's some people where, gonna find a way. Like, it's some people who just gonna fight for it to be mad. And I've learned that trying to make everybody happy, when I made everybody happy, and I didn't put, at first what I thought was like the center, like before I went for myself and I'm trying to make the whole room happy, it'd be times where it's nothing. I literally told people, there's nothing I can do on my side for you. I'll try everything. I'll try this. I'll try that. So it's funny that that's your like your favorite quote of the book. I mean, or I'm sorry, the favorite quote of this law, because I've been in situations where I'm kind of doing the opposite now, to where if my intentions are pure, my intention is to hurt or harm people, and I feel like this is the best choice, I'm going to do that. So maybe we'll see. I'm going to let y'all know if that's not working in my life. But I've been on the other side where where my choices is to make
it includes yourself though. It includes yourself. So if you're just making decisions to make other people happy, you're gonna end up hurt yourself. But the best possible decision out of all possibilities is all parties, including yourself, happiness.
Well, we'll see. I'm gonna have to work on that, people, honestly, just to be transparent, because I don't, a lot of times, and maybe this is just, maybe I have to break down some of my conditions. A lot of times I feel like I don't, like, me and other people don't agree on what makes us both happy. Or you know what? Unless this is referring to like a what's it called when two people compromise? Unless it's like a situation where you just compromise where all parties feel involved, then that's something that I do practice. But like you said, maybe I need to separate the making other people happy with making me and other people happy. So I see what you're saying about that.
Yeah. I say that's the best way, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's situational, because there are times where it's like everyone can't be happy.
Right. And I think that's where I got kind of like, fed up with it. But okay, so yeah, this was a very, very powerful one. So let's go to another powerful one. The law of least effort. I feel like out of all of the laws, this was one that I feel like I didn't really have a clue about, or not necessarily a clue about, but in this format, I didn't never, like, maybe this one was never to my awareness.
Okay, so what did you pick out from this law?
Well, so what I picked out about this law, right? So they basically say that, intentions or actions should be motivated by pure love. So trees are just moving. They don't think about movement. They don't say like, oh, I gotta wake up and move today. They just move. And I feel like this law is, for me, I took it as in removing the thought. Like, just if you're acting out of pure love, then your actions are going to be motivated by what you just necessarily have to do. And so instead of putting so much thought into it, like, oh, I need to do this or I need to do that, I'm getting up and I'm doing it, because this is what I should be doing anyway. This is motivated by pure love. And they say it's 3 components to this, right? They say it's acceptance, responsibility, and defenselessness. Accepting the situation. It's okay. It's no need to keep breaking down. I feel like we love to be analyzers and just break everything down. I got to know the meaning. And I remember even in school, I wanted to be a psychologist because I just wanted to know why everybody was doing everything. But more so, when you acting out of pure love and when you are building that consciousness for yourself, accepting it, like, this is just how things go. I don't even going to waste time breaking this down. And another interesting thing, responsibility. He said that responsibility means not blaming anyone or anything for your situation, including yourself. Anytime I've heard, oh, I need to take responsibility for my actions, it's about putting that blame on you. Like, I did this, I need to be accountable of this. And this law doesn't necessarily mean that's not true, but it's just, okay, this happened, let's just accept it. All right, let's not even have the consciousness behind, okay, this is what I did wrong and I feel so bad. And it's just lingering on it. It's many different ways to take this law, to be honest with you, regardless, dependent on your perspective. But for me, when this hit me and I thought about my life, I'm like, it's so much thought into things. Like, if I'm acting out of pure love, I'm going to do the things I need to do regardless. I don't have to think about things that I need to do. You don't have to think about breathing because you need to do it. So why not have that be about everything in your life? And also defenselessness. A lot of arguments are birthed by people having two different points. And I've got to my point because, like I always told you guys, I'm an herbalist. So I get into a point of just, well, I should say in the beginning of my journey or when I was learning things, I had always this strong stance about it. And anybody can relate to this, having a strong stance, and you want to argue with somebody because your beliefs is just right and their beliefs are wrong, and vice versa. They feel in the same way. When you have no point to defend, you do not allow the birth of an argument. That's a quote he have in the book. And I love that because I'm going to believe what I believe regardless. Like, I studied the material to believe what I believe. Now, there's people who don't study and just have, conditioned thoughts about things, and that's them. But even then, it's like, think what you think, I'm going to think what I think. Okay, I don't have to argue with you. I don't have to put that energy towards an argument because it's unnecessary.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of this law as well, the defensiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was my favorite part as well because arguing literally drains me. So when I saw this, it really just had me thinking like that is absolutely the truth. Because when everyone is trying to be right, prove their point, prove that their research is better, that is where you bump heads, and that's where you have the argument. And depending on what you're arguing about, hostility can come in. So I thought that was perfect. I think if you can state your point, and if the other person just doesn't care, doesn't want to believe you, doesn't try to believe you, then you kind of just have to let it go. Because even if you do have more facts in them, when you walk away, guess what? They're most likely still going to hold their beliefs. What was the point of breaking bridges or maybe even denting a friendship or whatever? But yeah, it's I feel like it's mainly like that comes also with, I feel like with ego, like everyone really just wants their beliefs to be correct and they'll die on that hill. And it's like, it's true, that's true. And I really, me being the person that I am, I research a lot just like you do. And I feel like we hold our research and our time very dear to us. So it's like, we like to be like, no, we research this. We feel like our information is correct. But even if we do feel that in our heads and our hearts, like we don't need to necessarily express that. We can just say our points and let it be that. For me, my favorite part of this law, it was within like the steps of desire. So it gives you steps of how to get your desire, I guess adding the intention, attention, desire, all that stuff together. And then within one of the steps of desire, it's saying to remain in yourself, remain focused with yourself. So that would be that self-development, that self-healing, focusing on yourself. We should already know this though. We should already know that when you pour into yourself, nothing but goodness can come out of it. That's when your desires start to fulfill. And then also within that, it says, do not compare yourself. Do not, let me just read it. Oh, do not look at yourself through the eyes of the world or allow yourself to be influenced by the opinions of others. So I think this is so big right now because I feel like everybody is trying to keep up with the Joneses everywhere. And this could be detrimental to our self-growth if we're always trying to prove ourselves. So social media, proving ourselves on social media. And then for me right now, I actually recently gained a relationship within my life. And I feel like they're kind of influencing me to spend money that I don't need to be spending, I guess I should say. And it's really like I'm being influenced by their opinion. And it's kind of straying me away because my main goal is to put as much money as possible into my investments. But I'm not doing this because this person is like swaying me to spend money in materialistic items. So I thought that was,
Let me ask you this. So when you have your route, what you desire, and then from the influential part, do you feel like that there's a big like, do you feel like one brings you what you want, what you intentionally had investing, putting your money in investments? Are you realizing like that other stuff doesn't bring you as much joy? Is that how you know this? Like, wait a minute, something is wrong here? Or it's pretty much the same, but you're just trying to be a little bit more responsible? What caused you to notice that difference?
Oh yeah, I don't get the only thing that brings me super joy is like investing and learning. Honestly, I do the other stuff is just so I can not be a hermit. Like I'm kind of young. Like I mean, I enjoy being outside occasionally, but it doesn't bring me true joy. It's never going out has never brought me true joy. Like it's very few people that I'll hang out with and I get like true genuine joy from it. So I was really just doing it like it says, don't let the opinions of other influence you. I was being influenced by the opinion of someone else. And it was swaying me from my true desires and my true intentions.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Why you ask that?
I just was curious though, because I feel like, you know, when we realized we're doing things from the outside, you know, what does it bring you joy? Because have you ever been influenced to do something and okay, now it done came a part of your desires as well because it worked for you? Or you can be like, you know what, you can catch yourself like, you know, I'm just doing this because I mean, I'm having fun, you know, but this is like my soul is telling me this is not what I need to do.
Yeah,
So
I think it always will circle back to just with inside you. Like I did enjoy going out because I still go out now. I go out every Sunday with them. That's kind of like our routine. And I do enjoy going out, but it's not like where my heart is, you know?
I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah.
So in other words, sometimes you gotta be strong enough to let things go, which brings us to our next chapter, the law of detachment. Now, this one for me, this one is my favorite one out of all of them. And this is such a powerful one for me. This is so relatable because this was a law I feel like I've always practiced in some form or facet because it's just about, I've always very intentional about the energy that's around me. What am I giving my energy to? And it's been such a joy to just be okay with letting things go or detaching myself. So in order to acquire anything in the physical universe, you have to relinquish your attachment to it. And I love this part because sometimes we see a way and it's the only way for us. I want to do this. Okay. So you have this end goal, right? You have this desire, and along the way, things may pop off. And they talk, good luck is preparedness plus opportunity. Preparedness plus opportunity. So along your journey, you may be prepared for something. Opportunity comes along because you want this so bad, you don't see the power of this. And this what makes this law so powerful for me because there's always a time I feel like in my life where I'm doing something and I want to do this, but this comes along and this is easier. This come along and this may bring me no more joy. This comes along and this may be the better route. This may be the smartest route for me. But if I stay so stuck on this one thing I wanted and I skip past the opportunities, I may get this, but along my journey, I could have had several different options, opportunities, and I didn't even take them because guess what? I'm only looking at this. So it's not necessarily letting go of your goals, but more so like being okay with if something else comes along, you're okay with letting that one goal go. If something better comes along, if another opportunity comes along, you know, you may not want to go the same route all the time. So you have to be okay with doing something differently if it needs to. If nothing comes along, then do what you got to do, but just be okay with, okay, you know what, this is not working. Okay, this is not working for me. Let me let this go. So I
Okay.
love this.
So how would you say to someone who feels like they're in a spot where they don't know if it's not working because they haven't hit that wall yet, if they haven't broken through that wall yet, or if it's just not working, what would you say to them?
Well, I would say, you know, like we go back to the other laws, you know, ask your heart, you know, is it another opportunity before you just quit? What are you going after you quit or let it go? What are you going to do? What are you putting in place of that? So that's my thing. So before I let anything go, before I make a decision, it's just like, unless I'm just completely out of the bubble where I'm not doing anything in this realm, okay, then you let it go. But what does your heart say? You can't really ask me. You got to ask yourself, what does your heart say? Because there's times where, you may get discouraged in your journey, but that may be a seed of opportunity as well, and as long as you stay prepared and as long as you're aware of your opportunities, you got to know. But I think attachment really refers to when you only do this, when you shut out everything else for this one thing, and something and better things may come along, but your eyes is so focused on this one thing that you're not aware that this may be a better opportunity. This may be a better chance. This may be a better person. This may be a better job, but you so focused on this
better person.
This may be a better person. This may be, or this person may have better qualities, and you so stuck on what you already have, but you just have to be open to detaching. You have to be okay with, okay, if this didn't work out in the beginning, I'm detaching from this. I can let this go and I can do something new. We hold on to things. We hold on to situations. People don't even want to let their house go, and they got holes everywhere, or not necessarily house go, or you don't even necessarily have to let it go, but maybe the option is not to just stay there. Maybe the option is just to do something about it. It's letting go of what you were previously doing, what didn't work, what can't happen, just being okay with letting go.
Okay, hey, let's get some high ratings real quick. So what you're saying about detaching from a person for somebody better, break that down real quick. Let's get a clip of that. Let's get our views up. This controversial. You say if you find somebody better, you just like, okay, bye. I'm going to the better person.
Or be open to not necessarily just saying bye, right? Because you don't want to. It's not really like a letting this person go. Well, when I say relationship, it can be any form. What if it's your business partner? And what if this business partner just always, always late, never on time, don't have a great work ethic, and somebody else comes along and they have everything you bring, but because y'all been friends for 25 years, you don't want to let them go. Okay, well, I love you. You are a great friend of mine, but you're not what I necessarily need. I have to be okay with detaching myself from you, because this person is going to help me, and this person is going to help each other get the results that I've wanted, that this person wants. We're helping each other better than that previous relationship. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like in a relationship as far as in your partner, because I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes it's not always good to open one door while another door is open. But just in all sense, in all situations, like, we have to be okay with better opportunities. You have to be okay with, if something changed, I'm okay with this end result not happening. Because something you right here, right? You got an end result right here, and you going, but along here, you've reached another opportunity. Now, this is what you wanted in the beginning, but since you done traveled along your road, your journey, you done went up. Now, guess what? You higher than this goal. You're higher than what you had originally seen for yourself. But if I just only seen this and I'm like, I don't care what's going my way, I don't care what the deal is, I'm going there. Guess what? You done missed an opportunity that could have leveled you up and then progressed you further than what you originally planned. You have to be okay with detachment, because you never know what's going to happen.
I think that your view on the law, like saying like you can't be so focused on one thing where you're missing opportunities, I think that was a really good breakdown. So that was a good way to view it. For me, I view the law of detachment as in I kind of pair it with the last law, intention and desire. So I have my intention, I have my result I want, I have my goals. And the only thing I'm attached to is what I'm supposed to be doing when I'm supposed to be doing it, and detaching from how long it will take me to get the result, when I will get to the result, and even in some cases, how. I don't even necessarily know how I'll get to the result, and that's where my definition of detachment would come in. All I know is what I can do is from this time to this time to this time, I'm focusing on this, and that should get me there in some way, shape, or form. But how? I don't know. I'm detached from it, and I'm allowing the Most High to take me to it, the universe take me to it, energies, whatever. That's kind of how I look at the law of attachment.
I don't know. I like that. I like that. I like your way of putting it too. When you understand, and then to end it up, he said, when you understand this law, you don't feel compelled to force solutions. So I think we pretty much we see it in some very similar forms, but at the end of the day, we both are okay with just letting however it's going to happen be. You know,
are you fully okay with that?
I feel like I am. I feel like I am because, you know, it's been a lot of times where, you know, you have to change, especially when you in multiple different sectors, multiple different businesses, and you realize like, look, hey, it's going to happen how it's happening. All I can do is put the work in. Like you said, like what your view of it. All I can do is do what I'm supposed to do. All I can do is put the work in, and we see how this thing go. Not saying that you don't have goals, but anything can happen. And when you know that life will throw you obstacles, throw you different ways, and you've been through it, and you've been hurt by things, you've been pushed down by things, but you got back up, you okay with just, hey, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm intentional behind it. So really, whatever happens, this is what I'm aiming for, right? But something better, I'm open to all possibilities of bettering any situation.
Okay. Just seeing, just checking.
All right, let's get into that.
The last law.
Last
law.
Okay, this is the law of Dharma, or your purpose in life. What do you have to say about this law?
I'm gonna say pass to you.
You're gonna say pass to me? Well, to be honest with you, you guys, you know, you have to really, just to break this down simply, I'm gonna try to break it down simple. You have to know what it is that you're good at, and one thing they point out in this, one thing he pointed out in this chapter was that you do something better than everybody else in the world. You are that unique. You are as unique as your fingerprint. And when you spend the time in stillness, and when you don't have so many distractions in your life, and you are kind of getting to that point of just being aware about what makes you happy effortlessly, what can you do hours and hours, and you look at the time and you realize, oh my God, this amount of time has passed, but I didn't realize because I'm doing this. What does that look like for you? And everybody is different, okay? Some people just generalize into, okay, I've heard some people tell me that their purpose in life is just to work. I've really had that. And it doesn't matter how that looks. Okay, maybe they just can't be busy. Maybe they just have to go cut the lawn, or they have to have a physical job, or they like to work. That's what makes them happy. That's what they don't have to think about doing. That's their, you know, their safe space. And just trying your best to realize what that looks for you. Now, when it comes to purpose and really understanding why you're here, sometimes you may not know that instantaneously. And sometimes I honestly feel like your purpose may change throughout your life. You may have had this one purpose and you may have completed that, but you may have another purpose along your journey, or you may evolve to the point where something else is serving you, something else is calling you, another way to help humanity, another way to help another human being is calling you. So a lot of people may just feel like they just got to stick with one thing for the rest of their life, but like I said, just be detached. All these laws kind of follow each other. If you look like it's kind of like a timeline of how to get you ready for this. But Dharma, focusing on your life's purpose, that's something that you have to sit with for a while. That's something that you have to be comfortable with. It's about knowing you. It's about understanding you.
Yeah, I guess I could kind of break down my thoughts on the components of what the book is talking about. But first, the quote, have you ever heard the quote? It's in the book too, that we are not humans having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Love that. That's I wrote that. I love that. One of my favorite quotes. Love that.
Yeah, I feel like I've been coming across that quote very often on my healing journey because I am getting very into a lot. I feel like on your healing journey, you kind of get not pointed at, but you kind of like get drawn towards spirituality. And I feel like that is because the answers are within spirituality. But I truly do believe like we are not our vessels. Like we're just in these vessels. I do think we need to take care of these vessels, but we are so much more than that. And I feel like everything kind of ties in together with that, in my opinion. Like the emotions and a lot of the stuff it was telling us not to do is because that is all of our vessel. That's not our true form, our spiritual form. But go ahead.
It's kind of like you can tie it into what you really, really, really need in life. You know, you can go within. A lot of us look at the material possessions, or they see this lifestyle sold to us by these entertainers, and feel like, okay, if I do this, I'm just gonna be the happiest people. These people are not even happy. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you don't need all of this. You don't need this lifestyle that's being sold to you to kind of find that your purpose, your happiness. You need to go within. I feel like this whole premise of the book is just to realize the power that's within you. You have you have something that's going to tell you what to do. You don't even need to go outside. And I was having a conversation with my girl's father, and he basically was saying, like, we are so used to going externally, even when we need help, or, when you need advice, go to somebody with good intentions. Of course, there's somebody you can trust for that if you want to go to a person, but sometimes you can just go within you and get rid of that hassle of putting your stress and your problems on other people, because you already know the answers. Understanding that knowledge of self.
Not gonna lie, I feel like almost every time I go to someone else for advice and I take theirs over my internal instincts, it's wrong. Like I really, like seriously, I truly feel like I'm like, dang, I should have just listened to my, because dude, this is coming from somewhere greater than us. Like when you have like a strong inkling of something, like take it and run with it, because it's literally bigger than you telling you. Like you don't have to. That's where free will comes in. People want to talk about free will. We have free will, but it's telling you the answers. We have the choice to listen or not. Like, but that strong intention, that strong feeling, like it's coming from somewhere greater than you. Like, listen.
Yeah,
Like,
and when you mention free will, I kind of feel like that's more of a like a human experience. I don't classify it as human experience because we were brought down in these vessels to have like figure out the human experience, but you don't have to be too, like, you don't have to relate so much humanly. So if you want to just break me down and ask me, like, Troy, are you a human? I'm having a human experience, but I believe that I'm bigger than that. A lot of people may sound like, oh, well, that's crazy, or you or whatever their opinions is, which I don't care about, but I have to look at myself bigger because I am connected to this pool that, like you said, it's greater than me, it's greater than you. It's this collectiveness of all of us, everything, the one, the greatness. And okay, yeah, I'm free will, and I have the free will to eat whatever I want to do. That don't mean it's right. And that's why, and I love the fact that we all have free will, because it kind of removes that judgment out of people. You can do whatever it is that you want to do, as long as it's not harmful for other people. But you gotta have that responsibility. And when you go into your inner consciousness, and when you relate back, and when you're going inside, you won't even need free will, because you're gonna be doing what you really need to do here.
yeah, exactly. Like when you listen, well, I mean, you still need free will because you have to listen, but yeah, when you listen to your intuition, like it will lead you. All you have to do is follow. I feel like I'm in the most successful. Well, my definition of successful, and so my top areas are health, wealth, spirituality, and I feel like at this point in my life, I'm the most successful in those 3 areas, on all 3 areas for the first time. And I truly believe it's because when I'm given direction, I follow it and I listen. And I feel like there is a reason why things point out at you, things repeatedly are popping up on your maybe Instagram or popping up on your YouTube, or someone says it, like it's telling you, and you got to listen, and it will lead you to your purpose. Dharma, the law of Dharma, your purpose. It will lead you to your purpose. All you have to do is listen. But the three components is finding your oneness. So kind of what we've just been talking about the past 5 minutes, looking within yourself. That will lead you to finding your talent. And once you find your talent, you use that talent to serve humanity. So again, as I've said this throughout this whole episode and at other episodes, I feel like I already found my purpose, which is to give in abundance. I'm not at that point yet, but I already know like that's the goal. I don't know exactly how I'm going to get there, et cetera, et cetera. But I feel like right now I'm in the beginning stages of truly becoming cool with my oneness, like full within myself, focusing on myself. So that can only lead me down the correct path. So,
and I just want to specify, if you're in a marriage or relationship, you still have this as well. And it's very important to, for me being in a relationship, is having that time where I'm still with me. Like I'm still, me and her, we have joint things to get through. We have joint ventures, but it's very important I take the time out to be in stillness and with myself and still focusing on what am I here to do. We love to, be one, which, once you get married, maybe, that may be your beliefs, like you are one human being, but not letting the outside noise, which, to be fair, in my opinion, that's what it could kind of be sometimes. Because how many times have people been in relationships and that didn't work out, right? And you done spent so much trying to chase this person's dream, and when they leave you, you don't know what to do. I have friends who've been in that situation where everything that they wanted to do was something of what their partner wanted to do. And now that they're not in their partner, or they're broke up, they're not with each other anymore, they're lost. That's why it's very important to still put that energy back into you. What am I here to do? You and your partner, like me and my girlfriend, or you and your girlfriend, you and your boyfriend, however it may be, still may have things that y'all want to do together, but you still have to have some sort of individuality about it. Like at the end of the day, a lot of my goals are going to happen with or without my girlfriend in my life. That's just how it works for me. But it's happy to have another spiritual being who's down for, who's intentional about finding her purpose in my life, because it's okay. When me and her need that alone time, we need that stillness, we can be apart. It's no problem on either side, because we both know at the end of the day, we still have to be with ourselves. We still have the only person you're with 24 hours is you. That's the only person you with all day, all night, all the time. Some of us, have been made, when you talk to yourself, people try to make you feel bad about that, but with you, I have my back. I know I have my back. I know I have my best intentions. I can question the world's intentions. I cannot question my own intentions because I know myself. So again, just very, very important that even if you're in a relationship, to still find that stillness, still understand your own individual purpose in life, and still stand on that regardless.
That was some good words to the relationship folk out there. Because we know this generation is just straight toxic. Attachment is what it is.
We not attached to anything. I don't even want people to be attached to me. Like I've always put in the perspective, like if something else is better for you because I love and care that much, I want you to experience that. Because I can only be who I am. I'm not trying to be nothing else. Even when people think I'm trying to be something else, I'm not. That's your opinion. That has nothing to do with me. I do whatever it is that I want to do, what I feel like I'm here for, how I can help people. So overall, though, I mean, this book is just incredible. It's not even long. It's not even if you have trouble with, thick chapter books, it's not even something long.
It's real tiny. Look at that.
Look at that. Look at that.
This might be our
Her
longest.
eyelid is bigger than the book.
This might be one of our longest episodes too, with this tiny book.
All that wealth of information packed in just this amount. So this is something that I highly recommend that you guys read on your own. But you know, like I said, if you are in this journey where you care about your spirituality, where you care about more than just material things and external, this, remember, we're mind, body, and spirit. We're holistic beings. We're not this segregated, you know, entity. We are holistic. So it's very important to feed that journey, feed your mind. I love this book. Honestly, this is one of my favorites. I'm gonna give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. That's just how I break it down. Like it's just really useful.
Yeah, I literally loved this book so much. I'm so glad we read it this season. Hopefully we can read some others, like, because spirituality books are probably inching towards my favorite right now. So, but I also give this book a 9.5. So right now, this book has the highest rating of seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah, for you, right?
Oh, you had a book higher than that?
Yeah, the fast track.
What did you give it?
A 10.
You gave it a 10. Okay, well, for me, this is my highest rating.
But it's I think you gave it like a 9. I think you gave it like a 9. I honestly don't remember. But
I might have gave it a 9, but not 9.5. This is my highest rating, season 1 and 2.
So I feel like this book did what Stillness Speaks tried to do. So if you read this book, you can get so much more wealth of knowledge than reading Stillness Speaks. Sorry, Eckhart, but yeah, Deepak Chopra, definitely a great author, and we should, you know, we're gonna read some more of his books for you guys.
Sounds good.
So yeah, so this has been a wrap up again. Like we always say, you know, this is transparency. This is not us. This is just us reading books relating to our lives, trying to give you guys value for yours. Let's continue to keep growing together.
All right, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.
See y'all.